I tried to make a live stream, right, like a couple of minutes ago, and then the internet decided to just like say nope and disappear. So yeah, so sorry, here I am again, trying this new thing of making sure. I really hope it will work right now. So yeah, the internet is a little bit problematic. I have no idea why. Um, I don't know how to explain it. Sorry. The internet is usually good, but honestly, I'm pretty sure you don't care about it. Anyway, hi guys. For those of you who haven't been here before, I ask on my Instagram account because I usually ask there. It's easier for me to like communicate with people on like on my stories and stuff. I'm just like uploading stories, and like YouTube is more of me like learning and just like showing stuff about a little bit more formal, I think. And on Instagram it's like more about um Instagram is a little bit more all over the place, which is, I know, sounds really crazy because I am all over the place in my videos. So yeah, so personal stuff, more things with things with my friends. Then like you can go watch the Instagram. You don't have to. It's like totally you do you. And also, I want to say a big thank you for the person who told me that like to make the chat only for subscribers. This is totally not to make you guys subscribe to my channel. This is just because last time I made sure that like bad words. I saw that my Star of David is not out. Ta-da. Bad words were not gonna show on the chat. The F word and stuff like this. But you couldn't see it, but I saw it. So it's just like every time that there is like a message with something that could be a problem, the YouTube algorithm is like immediately blocking it and asking me like, look, this is what they wrote. Is this okay that this will be on the chat for everyone to see? And I am so new in this whole live stream thing. So I would just like looking at the camera, seeing what's going on in the chat, seeing that like YouTube is asking me, is this okay that someone is saying, we will kill you and all your family, and I'm just like, no, it's not okay. But wait, I'm talking about someone else. Who is this guy? I've never seen his like username before. Then I was just like all over the place. I was just like and then someone just said like, you can just make it so like the people who are subscribed to the channel will like be the one who can write in the chat. So I think this is really good just because, not a lot of people, like I said, not a lot of people will subscribe to a channel to spread their hate. And if they do, they really need they really need to have a better, I don't know, better hobbies and stuff, because someone who is literally that his job is to go and spread hate, this is crazy. This is something I'm also seeing a lot on my when I'm uploading videos and when I'm just like posting pictures or stupid things on my Instagram account or on my Q account, which thank God on Q most of the people are nice. I also have Q. All the links are in the description if you want. Okay, so this live stream is for me, first of all, to learn about how to do a live stream, and also to try to let you know what I think without editing, because I usually trying to edit my bad English. So right now I'm just like gonna say whatever I want to say, and I'm so sorry that if there is like, I don't know, if there's something weird about it. Okay, so let's talk about the Taliban. First of all, before I even start, um, I don't know, do like a hashtag or whatever. Not all Muslims. I think this is something really important that we need to talk about, because yeah, the Taliban terrorists. Not all the people who are Muslims are bad people. It's not like this. Things are not black and white. And this is something I'm keeping, like, I keep saying over and over. The world is not black and white. I always tell you, like, encourage you to, every time I'm talking about, the Israeli Palestinian conflict or different things, different, like, my opinion, I always say, go and ask someone who has a different opinion than me. Like, go talk to Palestinian people. Don't only see one side and then say, okay, we know who we support or we know who we are against. Like, no, things are not black and white, and there are actual people in each side. So make sure you make sure you know about things. Then this is what brings me to why I was a little bit worried to talk about the Taliban, because I'm not in Afghanistan right now, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it when people are coming and telling me, people who have never been in Israel or in, let's call it, Palestine, you know what you should do? You should do this and this and that. I'm just like, but you're not from here. You don't know what we been through. You don't know how we live here. This is not, like, I feel when someone is sitting anywhere in the world. I got messages from people from all over the world, telling me, good and bad things, because, you know, again, people have different opinions about everything, and this is one thing that I absolutely love. This is another really Israeli thing, that we have opinion about everything, but we also need to know, like, and remember that if you don't really in a place, you don't really know. I know it's like when you look at something like from a distance and not like really close, you can see a lot of details. Not a lot of details, but you can see like the bigger picture. But other than the bigger picture, there are a lot of small details, and there's a lot of like problem with, a different of culture, a different like language barrier. There's so many things that you need to think about before, like, people think there is such a simple solution to the Israeli Palestinian conflict, and I'm just like, no, there isn't. This is why I am so scared about, talking about the Taliban. Not that I'm scared of talking about the Taliban, I am scared of saying things that I am so ignorant about. And I really think we all need to, like, because most of the people who talk about, things that are really extreme are people who has, like, don't really know a lot about the subject. And I really, so most of the things I'm going to say right now is, I'm comparing the Taliban to the Hamas, okay, to the terror organization Hamas, the terror organization that is ruling the Gaza Strip right now, that is torturing the people of the Gaza Strip. This is why, they're both Islamic, part of the religion, the same Sunni group, which is easier for me. But this is, again, when I'm talking about Taliban, like, think about the fact that I'm thinking about the Taliban, and I'm also thinking about the Hamas, because it is easier for me to talk about something I'm familiar with, and I think I can relate to. Now, why did I say that? Okay, I'll talk about the Taliban. It's because, like I said, I'm really trying to have friends from all over the world with a different, lifestyle, different opinions than me, because I really think it's important to talk about. It's important to people with different opinions than you, if the conversation is, respectful. And a lot of time, like, I get to know a lot of people from different places in the world, and I have amazing friends from Iraq, which is a place I like. What are the chances I'm gonna have a friend from Iraq? And when all the things with the Taliban happened, and we saw on the news, she lives in Iraq right now. She's never been in Israel. She's not Jewish. She's not, like, no. So when we left, I mean, we saw what's going on in Afghanistan, and then I saw, a story she posted on Instagram, and she's saying that this reminds me of what happened to us in the 90s. And I was just like shocked, because I know someone that like I'm talking to someone, I'm sending, pictures and like, crying to someone and talking to and telling him about my day, telling her about my day, to someone that lived through something like this. And I think that it's weird because for me, what like the pictures I saw of what the Taliban is doing in Afghanistan, it's very different from what I experience here with the Hamas. But I can still there are a lot of things I can totally see and relate. Just like when I'm watching, for my Baharat movie night, when I saw Uli and stuff, I told you like, oh, I can recognize some of the things because I lived through some of those things. I mean, the bombs, the weapon, the that you have to have a mask that is like a face mask that like not against the COVID. It's just like a mask against a nuclear weapon and stuff. And this is crazy because we live also in a place where we have shelters. Most of the people in Israel live in a home or in an apartment that has a special shelter from rockets. Like, think about it, how crazy this is that I mean, there is people in America that is like building bunkers against like the end of the world. They think they like survive there, and I always like looked at them and I was like, oh guys, you are so weird. But when you think about it, every person in Israel has like most of the people in Israel has this shelter against bombs in his house. It's something that I'm pretty sure that one day will also happen in Afghanistan. If Afghanistan will, let's hope, let's pray God, it's Hashem, with the help of God, um, Afghanistan will go back to be a, like a place where people can actually be in. I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry. This is very early for me right now. Um, so Taliban, like I said before, we need to talk about it with first of all with remembering that not all the Muslim people are bad. A lot of people have like were just born to the Islamic religion. It does not mean that they are bad. They just like grew up like this. But the problem is the radical people, which is something I can relate to because I always feel like people who, again, I'm always comparing it to America because America is such a good thing to see and to understand because in America they're always like doing this. All the people are great. We need to be nice to people and stuff. But I really think that like if you are in a place like Israel, when this is the holiest place for the three Abrahamic religions, things will be extreme. Everything will be extreme. The Judaism, the Christianity, the Islam, it's like on ecstasy. Okay, if you visit here and the religion is crazy. I had a video. Maybe I'll like if you want. I don't know, look it up about the Jerusalem syndrome, which is people who are actually coming here with like doesn't matter what their religion here. Most of them are Christians, but like there are also Muslims and Jewish people that are visiting Jerusalem, Israel, mainly Jerusalem, because Jerusalem is such an important big place in those religions, and their soul cannot take it, and they're losing their mind, and they're actually going crazy. This is a thing. It's called the Jerusalem syndrome, which makes people crazy because I don't know, maybe it's too holy for them, and they cannot um, handle it. But it's just when you are really close to a place, when you're really close to the place of birth of this religion, I think things will be more extreme. And if you're in a different place, like in the USA or in Canada or stuff, it's different because you don't really get to see how crazy everything is. And sometimes this is why it's better because it's easier to see that like Muslim people are people, Jewish people are people, Hindu people are just like people. But when there is a lot of times where people trying to be more radical, which is causing crazy thing. Now the Taliban did not started as this crazy thing. The Taliban just like, I know it started from a group of students, if I remember correctly. I mean, it started with a lot of people who are actually are educated, people who are trying to make something good. And this is also something that you always need to make sure that what you're doing, you always need to give yourself feedback and to see that there is not like a problem with how you are doing things. Um, okay, I was like all over the place. I am so sorry. You know me, and I'm babbling a lot of stuff. Um, okay, so the Taliban. What happened in the Taliban with Afghanistan? I'm pretty sure we all agree that this was crazy, right? When you see how scared the people of Afghanistan were when they run, and like people died trying to escape the country. People were holding on an airplane when it was flying and they fell off an flying airplane. Let's just like for a second, let's not talk even about good bad. Let's just think about those people that I'm pretty sure they knew they had like almost zero chances to survive, but they still did this because they thought it is better to die than to live under the Taliban, which is it's crazy. I mean, what the thing that is really driving me crazy is um how weird this is that the Taliban is they're trying to be what they want to be, but at the same time they do realize that the world watches them, so they're trying to say a lot of like, no, no, we're the good guys, which and they think they are the good guys, but when we talk about when we talk about that's just like, okay, I'm a girl, this. So there is said that women under the ruling will be able to go to school and do stuff all in like under the umbrella of Islam. But I mean, they also talk. I mean, this is why it's important to learn the language of the enemy. Like a lot of time in Israel, we see like people like the imam, the leader, it's like the rabbi of places in Islam. He says like, no, we love everyone in the world. The world should be peaceful and that, and then like we're okay with Israel, and then when you hear him talking in Arabic to his followers, they're saying a lot of very different things. So this is why I think this is very important to learn the different languages. First of all, it's important to learn languages, but this is more important like to learn languages in order to understand what is really happening. Um, Also in Israel, we have a newspaper, a really radical newspaper. Really, I think I don't know, I don't want them to sue me, but I really think they are hating Israel. It's called Haaretz. They're saying, like, they're writing things in Hebrew, like about a terror attack. Like if let's just say a terrorist killed someone, and then I don't know, he died, like someone fired, like killed him. So this what will be writing in Hebrew, what really happened. But in English, they will tell the world, a poor innocent Palestinian man just died because of no reason, which is they're like not mentioning the fact that he is a terrorist that tried to kill other people seconds before someone shot him. So this is one thing I always like say to people, like you need to learn, educate yourself about the language and the traditions and what those people are about, because we need to know exactly what we need to know exactly what we're dealing with. And you see me struggling with English, like in Hebrew I can speak like a little bit better. I'm all over the place also in Hebrew, but it's so important to learn the language of your enemy to understand what they are really telling you. talking about and what they are really want to like really what they're. So right now, what's going on in Taliban with the Taliban? I don't I think they look. I know they're saying they hate the the Western world, but I think they're really acting like they're in this Western world movie. They're thinking they're the heroes that will come and save the day, and the world will be under the name of Allah, which like under the Islam. And everything will be better and happily ever after, which is such a Hollywood bullshit. I mean, the world will never be, people will never be with one religion. The world will never be, like, people will always be different. The thing is, we need to learn how to live with those differences and how to be in peace with everyone while we know that people are again, this is something I absolutely love about Judaism, that like if someone is telling me I want to make people Jewish, this is not our thing, and we don't want the entire world to be Jewish. We do want the entire world to keep the 7 mitzvahs of Noach, which is basically to be how to say it, like to don't kill, don't steal, like be respectful, just like that's it. Don't be a bad person. That is what the entire world needs to. So this is why I feel like this is insane. This is why every time someone is telling me, also with Christianity and stuff, like the whole world need to be like us, and I'm just like, no, it's like it's not going to work, and you know it because we don't live in a Hollywood movie, and the entire world will not believe in the same God. The entire world will not do exactly what you want. And also, like, people always think they know exactly like the truth, and I always, again, it's bringing me back to what I'm saying. When people are talking to me, I'm always telling them, I can talk to you, but also go and have a conversation with a person, with like a Palestinian person. If you're talking to me, make sure, like, try to make sure it's a Palestinian girl or a woman, which would be a little bit more difficult for you, but just like you need to make sure you understand exactly what's going on in this situation. Where was I? I'm so all over the place. Anyway, so the thing is that, like I said, I'm comparing the Taliban to the Hamas terror organization, because they're from the same religion subculture. They believe in the same thing. They're actually working on the same thing. Hamas is like totally like thumbs up with whatever is happening in Afghanistan. And I think this is why it's so dangerous, because I think that the people of Afghanistan do not have time to hide and to get themselves ready like we did. Um, I just, it's really scary to see people like this, and people are losing everything. People just lost everything right now, and we are sitting and watching. Like I saw this and I was sitting and watching it like on my phone from like on my couch with the air conditioner on, because it was so hot in the summer, and I don't know, and it just like it was so weird, because at the same time I live next to a mosque, because again, in Israel, Jewish, Christians, Muslim people, we're all living together, which is, I mean, people are living here having the same, human rights and everything exactly equal. But I saw what happened with the Taliban in Afghanistan on my terrible phone. I saw this, and then at the same time, the imam, the mosque, the people at the mosque started to pray. So it was really weird for me, because um, I'm seeing terrible things that is happening in the name of Islam, and I'm hearing not only on my phone, I'm hearing people praying to Allah, like literally a couple of meters from me. It was so crazy, but it was also so weird to see this and to understand that this is how the world will always work. People will always believe in different things, and we have to learn how to live with each other. I mean, it's not something we can just like it's not something we can just like, I don't know, think that we can change everyone, um, which is crazy. It's really weird that I was just, like I said, I was sitting on a couch in a place and I saw people who got their life destroyed. Like people, I know people killed themselves. How crazy is this? That we're just sitting and watching this, and I would just like, I thought this is terrible, but at the same time, there are times in Israel, that I also lived through, that I'm terrified of them happening again, like terror attacks here. Like when I was a child, I remember that um, it was so weird. Our principal were all set at the gym room, and the principal came and she told us that we are no longer allowed. I remember that she said like, "Anilo marsha lachem," like you don't have my permission to go hang out at mall, like at the mall. You cannot go just like sit where you sit. Like don't go to restaurants. Don't go to the mall. Um, if there is like if your parents or someone with a vehicle can pick you up from school and you don't have to take the bus, go do that because people died here. Buses were terrorist attack were everywhere. Like their bombs, their it was crazy. I lost so many people and I was just like so young and it was just like I haven't really understand it. It's like I've seen her a lot of times and then suddenly I haven't seen a person anymore and it's just like what happened? Where is she? And there's like, oh, there was a terror attack and she died. And I'm just like, and you don't understand what this is because you're a child. And I lived through this, so I don't like when I'm looking at how Afghanistan looks like. I do. First of all, I'm thankful that Israel is way different. I mean, we have I think okay, maybe I've seen like the wrong pictures, but we have like big buildings and stuff. You can see I also uploaded sometimes, funny things about how people always think like Israel is the desert and we ride camels and just like from the pictures I saw in Afghanistan, I saw that this is not, you know, a luxury vacation place. Um, but I saw people scared of the exact same thing I was scared of, which is which is weird because it's I'm sorry I'm being such a selfish that I'm just like thinking about how I felt on the time that those things were also a threat here. But I saw people and it just like I don't know, I was it was crazy because at least here I know that the IDF and I know people will do everything they can to fight back, but I know I'm always scared that a radical group like the Taliban or like the Hamas will start to win because I'm always like, okay, what does it mean? Like what does it mean? And I also know that the people who accept living under the Taliban rule, they're not happy people. They're gonna be living under this terrible thing and like I always like as a girl I'm always thinking about the girls who like it's not only about covering yourself, it's not only about covering the hair or just like to like wear a burqa which like no one can see you. It's just like it's to take your rights to be human. It's not human rights. It's just you are not a human anymore. You are actually a machine, like a machine to bring out babies, like boys, a machine to bring out boys because in places like this, girls considered like a bad thing. Um, so just like when we think about what will happen to the people of Afghanistan right now, this is what I am totally scared of because I remember that I was sitting when I was young singing in the sitting. I'm sorry, English. I was sitting and thinking what will happen and how would my life would look like under the I was thinking what my life will look like if the Hamas will win. I was thinking what will happen if we will have to live under the Islamic law, the real Islamic law, not the real Islamic law, which is the real what there is saying. Of course, that I am first of all I'm so angry because those people I feel like those people have never actually read the Quran. They never really read the books of the Islam. They really didn't really understand what is going on. I have this is what I absolutely love about Israel, the fact that I live so close. I have Arabic Palestinians neighbors, and like when we talk, fight, but we also respect each other, so the fight is a little bit less, crazy. Um, but my friend told me, my Arabic Palestinian friend told me that this is against the Islam to kill women and children, and this is something he always seen. He was like, we need to remember that what they're doing, like even if it's good for us because we want Palestine to be free, we always need to remember because yes, they help us um, conquer the place, but their Islam is not the real Islam. Their the radicalness of those terror groups will be really helpful to free just to free places from the non-Muslim people. But after that, the people will not be safe. The people who live in there, the also Muslim people who again always was just born to be like to the Islamic religion. That's it. They will also suffer. The girls will suffer. The men will suffer. Everyone will suffer them, which is it's crazy. We need to make sure that we at the same time that we are against those radical groups, that we are helping the people who are just born to Islam and wants to continue living their life. Because, like my friend said, yes, I want. He said he wanted Palestine to be free because he's considering himself a Palestinian, and he is sometimes supporting the radicalness of the Hamas and stuff. But he said, I 100% will be against like living under the Hamas because I know how terrible this is, um, which is something crazy that person that I called him like my friend will say. But again, this is one thing that is absolutely totally insane here in Israel. But we have to think about what will happen to those people, and we have to make sure that like nothing is bad is happening to them because I don't know because things are crazy. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry for rambling. Thank you all for actually listening and for actually trying to understand what I was talking about. If you have any questions or something, feel free to write in the chat. I am seeing a lot of messages that like YouTube is asking me if this okay to be, and I'm just like, guys, please be more respectful with the way you are writing words because I'm not going to approve a lot of curses and a lot of bad words. This I'm trying this to be a place of like acceptance, but at the same time, yeah, come like if you're against something, you can totally be against Israel. But if you're willing to have a conversation, a serious conversation, then you are more than welcome to this channel. If you're here just to, say bad things and run, then just like then don't don't be here. I'm sorry. Um, okay, let's see if you have any questions. Not only about Taliban and crazy things like this, which also one thing we can do to help